Hello there, good morning and welcome to News Express, exclusively brought to you by Business AM, Nigeria's fastest growing financial and business newspaper. It's a new week. What's on the papers, on the pages of Business AM this morning? I'd like to start from the very first page, the cover page of Business AM, sitting pretty up there. We have Singapore offers Nigerian businesses partnerships, gateway to Southeast Asia. Bullet points, set to host 2021 Africa Singapore Business Forum. Partnership model takes root in Nigeria. Seen in non-oil exports giant, Olem. We have this one, manufacturing giant, Tolaram. Behind Indomie, Kellogg, Colgate, Palm Olive, Lekki Seaport, Lagos Free Trade Zone. This is a lot, but this is going to be our conversation starter with the publisher, Philip Isapa. But then, before I bring him in, other headlines here. Analysts see Nigeria's reserves reach $35 billion on oil price rally. FSDH, United Capital optimistic of sustained growth after Euro bond issuance. Quickly over to the summary section. Experts, OK NNPC Dangote deal. What's that deal about? Catch the detail on page 3. And the finance and investment section, August offers profit optimism. We're seeing that across markets, especially crypto market. But then if you want more detail on that one, page 11, that's where you find it. NNPC ramps up sales in March, page 28. The company and business segment, we have FBN Holdings bounces back. Talking about Dangote Cement, which is Nigeria's largest company by market value, posting a robust 57.2% year-on-year revenue growth. Check that one out on page 22. The insurance and pension segment, time for entertainment insurance. What's that about? Page 14. And I'll move over to the commodities and agri section now, where we have tech to expand agriculture. How is that? On page 24 of the paper, I'm going to bring in the publisher now, Philip Isapa, to join me for conversations. Hello, Mr. Philip. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, good morning, Rachel. It's good to be back, and hope you had a good weekend.
All right, so let's start with the very first headline on the cover page, talking about Singapore offering Nigeria businesses partnerships. Now, they are saying that they are open for partnerships with Nigerian businesses in particular, and Africa in general, and is prepared to serve as a genuine gateway to Southeast Asia, providing access to the fast-growing markets of China, India, and Vietnam. This is good news, no doubt, Mr. Philip. I mean, Singapore is economic giant city-state and is a gateway to Southeast Asia. What opportunities can we gain from this partnership, aside what I've just mentioned, of course?
Yeah, Rachel, this is an interesting country. It's a country, a city-state that is smaller than Lagos. It has about, I think, 5 million people, or about 5-point-something million people, and which is less than Lagos is. Lagos is projecting 20 million people, so you can see 1/4 of Lagos, so to speak. You know. But interestingly, it is a powerhouse when you talk about economic development, and it's a manufacturing hub as well. But interestingly, what we don't know, I mean, many people don't know, I mean, there'll be people who know already, but many people don't know that Singapore, you know, Indomie, the food company, which is a company under Tolaram Group, you know, is part of, came from Singapore, as a matter of fact, you know, it's headquartered in Singapore, you know, and then you have Olam, the what's it called, non-oil export giant that is involved in agriculture, you know, exports and many other things, you know. So now, a lot of activities have been going on in terms of organizing what to call Africa Singapore Business Forum, you know, which is direct focused on the private sector, you know, trying to see how Africa and Singapore can collaborate in terms of economic development and business as well. But it's more about bringing business to business, you know. When you have government to government come round at the business forum, it's for them to look at economic ties and agreements that they can sign. But what is interesting is that they have this way of doing partnerships. You know, many products that are produced in Nigeria, you know, have their origin in terms of the organizations behind them in Singapore. You know, So Tolaram Group, for instance, has brought Indomie, but it has also brought Kellogg. Kellogg, the what's it called, the cereal manufacturer.
Yes.
And then they come in, they're setting up manufacturing, and yes, something that perhaps we haven't talked about is that Colgate Palmolive, it's building its first. It has five manufacturing plants across the world, but it's building the sixth one. And guess what? That sixth manufacturing plant is being built in Nigeria. And here you have Tolaram bringing this group of companies together. So they are saying that we're open for business. Nigerian businesses, can look to partner with Singapore businesses, to be able to set up manufacturing or different types of businesses. And then there's a swat of different areas that the businesses can look to, in terms of what they can do with. They can handle with if they were to partner with the Singapore. So they talk about being an international. They talk about global connectivity. You've already mentioned what's it called, the fact that it's a gateway to Southeast Asia, to China, and you can go through Singapore to reach out to China, to reach out to India, to reach out to Vietnam. Recall that Vietnam is also a small country, but also a powerhouse in terms of manufacturing. And then China, of course, we all know what it can do. So for businesses looking to to link up to these different countries, Singapore is saying that we are available. We can partner with businesses in Singapore. But Rachel, the kitchen, I think I was in Singapore in 2015, 2016. And you will find that they don't have the type of natural resources that we have. Of course they have what you call the palm, the oil palm business. But it's a manufacturing hub. It's a manufacturing hub where different companies across the world have set up shop in Singapore, to be able to reach out to the world. So the supply chain problem that we've talked about with regards to COVID that has happened, it does form, Singapore does form a link, and it's very efficient when you talk about supply chain, handling supply chain issues,
right,
all over the world. So that's a very good one to look at, for businesses looking to partner. They should be looking for international markets and international reach. They can begin to look at Singapore, and then of course they have what you call there are different areas that they can look to for this kind of partnership, including aerospace, air transport, construction, education, electronics, energy and chemicals, environmental services, and financial services. So different areas. Food manufacturing, we talked about Kellogg, we talked about Indomie, that is very, very well known here. And then they said we are open for healthcare businesses, we are open for hotels, a partnership. Rachel, I tell you this, there's this fantastic what's it called, one of the 5-star hotels that opened in Ikeja GRA sometime, I think early this year or so. That what's it called, had a footprint in terms of design and in terms of the design. There's one also being built on the island where you are. So it's a fantastic thing. Akiwumi Adesina, they said, will be speaking. During this what they are having this year's Africa Singapore Business Forum, and we look forward to hearing what exactly they will unfold in terms of new things that businesses can look up to. But you look at Lekki Port project, it's been handled by a company within Tolerant Group, and then has a Singapore stuff in there. You look at the Lekki seaport. Then you have the Lekki free trade zone area, and that is being developed in that area, and then so quite a lot to chew there for Nigerian businesses, different areas. All they need to look up to is to link up and see what they can actually get, by speaking to the people who are there,
so
in Singapore.
This sounds really great. We'll see how much this business summit, will eventually achieve. Let's get on to the next headline now. Analysts see Nigeria's reserves reach $35 billion on oil price rally. So, recent data that was collected by the CBN, of course, and analyzed by Business AM, shows that Nigeria's external reserves have, for the first time since April 2021, crept to $33.54 billion at the start of August, despite shedding about $1.5 billion since April. Now, analysts are seeing this as some sort of positive global market oil rally, but there are also concerns, as they are cautioning analysts or cautioning against any euphoria from the gradual rise in reserves, noting that there is a renewed loss of control confidence in the Nigerian market by foreign investors. What is causing this loss of confidence in the Nigerian market, and what can the government do to regain this confidence? And yes, the market has been doing quite well, since the month of August began.
Yeah, Rachel, we recall that we've spoken about once we talked about free fall in the reserves, and then we were wondering what was going on. We talked about the situation with COVID, how COVID had impacted on the global economy, how foreign direct investment wasn't coming in, and how the diaspora, inflows were going down because of the problem all over the world in terms of job losses, where Nigerians are in the diaspora were out of jobs and then not able to remit money back home the way they used to do. So we were worried, and then you had the currency crisis, foreign exchange situation. The World Bank put I think 1.2 or $2 billion dollars in terms of what was outstanding, for international businesses who are here looking to repatriate money, and then there wasn't enough forex to be able to deal with that by the central bank. So you had this problem, we talked about it and we were worried, and then then the vaccine came, came, and then things began to mellow down a bit, the oil market began to pick up, So at the beginning of August, we began to see that the reserve had crept to 33.54 billion. So like the inflation situation where we say, there's been a halt, or you look at the capital market or the stock exchange where you say, the bulls are back, or what, after a long time of the bears taking control. Now we are talking about Nigeria's reserves, and we are seeing that this is being helped by the fact that oil prices are beginning to pick up. But it's still a long way out, a long way to go, But so analysts are weighing in and saying, we can look at what's going on here. We can look at oil prices rising. The price rally may be continuing, and then we can see that by the end of the year, expect a close at $35 billion in terms of the reserves, which is good, because anything positive is good, because Nigeria needs forex, it needs its currency to pick up, a lot of this reserve that have been used, in the past, by the central bank, to defend the naira, and then you weren't getting, getting what you call replenishment in terms of foreign direct investment or revenues from crude oil, coming in. You recall, Rachel, 2020, we had the Nigerian cargoes, oil cargoes floating about in international waters with no buyers, So with Nigeria, they suffer quite a bit, in terms of foreign reserves accretion. Now we are seeing a bounce back. Of course, you still have people cautioning, let this euphoria not get into the heads of people.
Right.
That it could happen that there could be a detour somewhere. So you expect, the expectation is that vaccines will continue, the rollout of vaccines. I just saw this morning that there has been a suspension in terms of the second round of the vaccines in Nigeria, but globally vaccines are beginning to work, and then the global economies are beginning to return to normal. As far as the last time I checked, they say China is already back and bouncing. We saw the Olympics game that did not hold last year. It's just ended in Tokyo, Japan. So quite a lot of things happening, but still caution. This year, the DMO has already come out to talk about the bonds, Eurobond issuance, So there's still some expectation that there will be a successful Eurobond issuance, and that will bring in some foreign exchange into the bracket, and then there could be something positive coming as a result of that. So it looks good, but some say be cautious. If it closes at the end of the year at $35 billion, that would be good. 500 million dollars Eurobond issuance, that was done this year in January was successful. So the expectation is that what will be done next will be successful as well. So all in all, there's some positivity, around what is going on. Key thing, Rachel, is that how this affects the strength of the naira. The naira has taken a hit, for some time. Last week or so, when the decision was taken regarding, was it last week or the week before, when decision was taken regarding stopping sales of dollars to BDCs. We saw what happened to the naira. It was down 5.25 to the dollar. But it's beginning to pick up again. At the last count, I think 505 or so. Probably we see it come back to below 500, and hopefully that will begin to make some sense in terms of as far as the economy is concerned. But key thing is that investors are keen. They're particularly interested to know how easy it will be, for them to move money. They come in with their investment. They want to ensure that when they have put in money and they have made some profit from it, they can be able to get their money out of the country, because they have come from different parts of the world. So that is key. That is why, because investors are not seeing the clear sign of that happening, that's why they are holding back. The economy is still buffeted by what you call insecurity situation. The security situation all over the country. That's frightening. But we're seeing some money coming in tension. There's a story. There's also a story here where you see investment announcements. Riding very high. Investment announcement will mean people who have intention to invest. But they have not brought in the money yet, So a great deal of potential in terms of investment announcement that have come into the country. So we are looking at 10.11 billion investment announcement in the first half of 2021. all that money might not have come in, but these are intentions, and so it shows that there is indeed some hope, that if everything were to be tidied up, then you could have a good amount of money coming in terms of a foreign direct investment, or people who are already in here and trying to make increase their spending on what they are doing. So that behold very good, so we'll see how things go, from here.
Well, we'll see how all of these stories will develop in the course of the week. Thank you so much, Mr. Philip, for joining me this morning on the show.
Thank you, Rachel. Have a good day.
You too. That was Philip Isakwa, the publisher, Business AM, Nigeria's fastest growing financial and business newspaper. Stay here.